Shalom, Israel. This is Sister Kana. And first and foremost, I have to give all glory and honor to AHAYAH, Asher AHAYAH, Bahashim Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach. I pray that let me take this off. I pray that my sound is good and everything is good. I pray. This is a very, very, very important video I want to make. And I think I touched on this before. Excuse me. I think I touched on this before this video. But, and I spoke about it several times. And I think it's important that I go over this again because of the information and because of what has been going on lately in the news with the celebrities that are, going through things. And one in particular is Ray J. Ray J is very pertinent in this case with Whitney Houston. So I think it's very important. He has been last week, talking about committing suicide, and it seems like he's being overridden with the guilt because of his part that he played in the demise of Whitney Houston. So, it's all starting to play out, and, a lot of new information has come out. So I really, really wanted to address this situation. Praise the higher. So I want to, this is a very important video to our culture as a whole. And that's why, I find the need to speak about this. Not so much because of the celebrity part of it, but that too. Whitney Houston was one of the greatest singers of our time. And, her music has transcended through all, religions and nations. And, everyone loves and know of Whitney Houston. And I believe she used her status to come across with a very important message at the end of her life. And this is what I want to talk about. We know that, she was killed. And, we know that the cause of her death was, very shady. They said that, they tried to say that it was on, because she was into drugs. And the media really tried to paint this picture of her, in this way. But I wanted to go into why she was killed, which no one knows and no one talks about, and it has a lot to do with the awakening of our people. And just like, a lot of other celebrities are waking up, and they were waking up in the time that she was waking up as well. So, and, things were happening to other people as well, but not to the degree that it happened with Whitney Houston. So I really, really, needed to say that and, bring this out. Let me start now. After I give out the main part, because I don't want this information to get lost in all the other information that I'm going to speak about Whitney Houston. There's a lot of information that came out, with Whitney Houston. And it's almost amazing because while she was alive and while she was in her height of her career, no one would have ever suspected these are the things that she was dealing with and what had happened to her. So I'm just going to get straight to the point with it. Those of you who know me, watch my videos or watch my channel, you know that I'm living in Jordan, and I've been living in Jordan for the past 15, 16 years. And I was awakened to the truth of who we are in America. The blacks and the Latinos and the Mexicans and, are of the lost 12 tribes of Israel. And we came to America on cargo slave ships because of the Most High put us under a curse for not keeping the Lord's statutes and commandments. We are the Hebrew Israelites that are living in America today, and we actually built America on our backs. The blood, sweat, and tears of our culture was built has built America. So a lot has gone on. Us being hidden in America and not knowing who we were, um, we that became our lifestyle and our culture. And many rose up out of the dust, like Whitney Houston, to become great singers and musicians and everything because of who we are chosen by the Most High was based on the children of Israel. And that's why so much greatness has come out of America with the music and the dance and the fashion and the sports and everything because the children of Israel are in America, and we still are there today. We built and greatness have came out of this. So Whitney Houston being one of the greatest singers of all times, she grew up, as a daughter of Zion, the Hebrew Israelites. And I believe Whitney knew who she was. She knew at the end that she was a Hebrew Israelite. So I wanted to come out with this information because I made a video about this 12 years ago. And because, you know, at the time, it was no significance to anybody. But now it's a huge, huge significant, you know, um, situation, and a story has got to be told. And I really want to tell this story for our people so that they can wake up to this truth and know who we are. And also her family, Whitney Houston family. She got her aunt, um, Lola Brown, who's on YouTube making videos. She has her a nephew. I don't know his name, but he is like a taste of brown or something like that. So they're all on YouTube and they're kind of grasping at straws, not understanding why Whitney Houston was killed and what happened to her and why she was killed in such a manner, so horrifically. Like, we see a lot of these entertainers are being taken out. And it's because they are waking up and they're breaking the code. They are breaking the code because once you start waking up out of this psychosis, we were under the curses, and now the Most High told us after 2,000 years, He would start to revive us. We would start to remember. This is what's happening to a lot of entertainers, and Whitney Houston was one of them. But Whitney's Houston life was so dramatic, and so like now the truth is coming out about her and what happened to her, and would cause her to be on drugs the way she was, and lean towards alcoholism and using drugs to suppress all that she had been through. From what I understand, that Whitney Houston, she was molested. She was, as a young girl, she was molested. That she was given up and given away as a child. That the woman who claims to be her mother, Sissy Houston, is actually not her real mother. But that's not really what I wanted to focus on. But I'm gonna touch on these things later, and I just wanted to put that out there because it was a very traumatic situation for her, and this what spiraled her out of control going into this drug situation that she was in. But I want to tell you that Whitney Houston left a very serious message. And this is why they took her out and took her out in the manner in which she was taken out. Horrifically, they said that she was beat up so badly, her face, and they really beat her up badly. They drowned her in the tub in the hotel in California. So, and I want to bring out why. So, what I'm going to do is I want to share a couple of videos with you, but I'm going to tell you why. Whitney Houston revealed to the world that she knew that she was a Hebrew Israelite. And that is a big no-no to our slave owners, to let anybody know that, you're a Hebrew Israelite, especially in her time. We're talking like 12 years, 15 years ago. Whitney Houston took a trip to Israel. Out of the blue, she took a trip to Israel, and she asked the brothers and sisters in Dimona, the Hebrew Israelites, to baptize her in the Jordan River. Now that is huge, brothers and sisters, especially in this time of the awakening. I am personally living in Jordan, and I came here because I know, because of the awakening, that Jordan is the safe place. But it really blew my mind 12 years ago when Whitney went to Israel and got baptized in the Jordan River on national TV. They a big, huge star that she is. She used her platform to send a message worldwide that going to Israel and being baptized in the Jordan River was very significant. You got to understand, she is millions would watch Whitney Houston. She was adored by the world, and she got on a plane and went to Israel and got baptized in the Jordan River. Now, for me, I know that Jordan is the safe place for our people for the end times. The Bible is prophesied that America will be destroyed. That when you read the Revelations 18, it tells you, come out of her, my people. Babylon the Great is fallen, and it will be destroyed. And Whitney Houston must have knew this thing. And she knew that her going to Israel and getting baptized in the Jordan River was a huge message to her people. Now, I want to talk about this because we know now that it's coming out about Clive Davis and, with someone like Dame Dash, who mentions the culture vultures and how the powers that be use our people, and demonize us and, use the music as a weapon. And, they've been playing in our faces with all the information because they knew who we are. They know who we are. They know we are the children of Israel. They know we are suffering the curses here in America or there in America, and that we lost our identity. But the majority of our people are walking around in America and they're still asleep and they don't know. But Whitney Houston knew. And I think she used that information as a form of get back. And she went to Israel and got on the plane, went to Israel and said, this is my land, and got into the Jordan River and got baptized by the Hebrew Israelite community that was located in Dimona. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of videos and how Whitney Houston went there, and she didn't even want to shake the prime minister's hands. She understood and she understands that the Jewish people who are running the music industry, and monopolizing and raping our people with this music industry, she knew who they were, and she knew that was our land that she went to get baptized in. So I know her doing that didn't sit well at all with Clive Davis. Yes, Clive Davis is the culprit. He is the one behind the many demise of our people in the music industry. He is the main person, the culture vulture at large that Dane talks about. I mean, he talks about some of the other ones, and they all have been in it together, like them causing the main wedge between him and Jay-Z. And not to paint Jay-Z innocently, he had to be a willing participant to go along, to sell out his brother and go, mess that whole Rockefeller, record, take it down. He had to be a willing participant, but those Jewish people that was backing him knew what they were doing by causing a rift between these brothers, and a rift always in this music industry. They have been playing us from the very, very beginning. You know, from all the black artists, Billie Holiday and Sammy Davis Jr. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on, how our people were raped and abused and robbed in this music industry. But Clive Davis is the one who Whitney Houston was signed to Arista Records. And he's a major Jewish, person that is running the industry, the music industry, the television industry. This is how they have, you know, taken advantage of our people during this time as we came to America on slave ships, and they just raped us and robbed us, and end up, killing our people like they did Whitney Houston. But what Whitney Houston did, and the reason and the manner in which she was taken out, was so horrific for how they did her, because supposedly she was molested when she was 12 years old. And I'm going to show you the video talking about it and telling you these stories of what happened to her, how she was molested. But she was supposedly, molested by a pastor of the church that her mother, her so-called mother, was attending. And the mother, Sissy Houston, was supposedly having an affair with this pastor and brought her into the home. And Whitney walked in on them. And they called her back in the room and took advantage of her. And she was raped and molested and whatever. And the mother knew of this. And this, of course, is the reason what drove Whitney to, such a, she was just out of it, spiraled out of control in her later years, in her mid-20s and 30s, because of what happened to her as a young child. And that usually happens with most people who are on drugs or have some kind of trauma in their lives, and then they end up turning to substance abuse. And so it's not, unnatural for something like that to happen. People who be traumatized as children usually have trauma throughout their lives, and they very rarely get over it. And that is the case. And this is what we witnessed with Whitney Houston, with her spiraling out of control with the drugs and the crack and the this and the that. When she got with Bobby, it was already told that she was already spiraling out of control before she even married Bobby. She was even in a supposedly a same-sex relationship with her friend Robin. And that usually happens too with young women with trauma in their, growing up. They end up going to the opposite sex. And so she had all the symptoms of an abused person. But because she was such a big star, nobody wanted to see her, think of her in that way. But she went through a whole lot. And, AHAYAH bless the dead. And I pray that she made it to the kingdom, because she did go and get baptized, and repented for her sins. So I pray for that sister's soul, that she made it into Abraham's bosom. Okay, so now I want to go into the videos. I have a lot of videos I want to show you, so please bear with me. So this first video is her going to Israel, being baptized in the Jordan River. Now, I want to make a note that the people in Israel today, the Hebrew Israelites who are in Dimona, who originally went there in the 70s under Ben Ami, they naturally, in majority of them, don't even believe in the water baptism. So she had to really pull a lot of strings to get them to baptize her. She probably, donated money and really talked to them, because this is something that she really wanted to do. She wanted to get this message out. But from what I understand, that the majority of the Hebrew Israelites in Israel today, and back in that time, they didn't even believe in the water baptism. So majority didn't believe in, baptism by fire, which is incorrect. and it's not of Christ. So Whitney Houston had to pay money actually, or donate or get some pull some strings. But of course she was Whitney Houston, so it probably wasn't that hard for her to get them to come down to the Jordan River and sing and watch her get baptized. She had movie cameras there. She had, she made sure it was highly publicized. She gave a great message, and she wanted to give a message to our people, to her people, letting them know where the safe place is. Jordan is the safe place for our people in this time. We are in the end times, and there's only one safe place. And Whitney Houston made a point to bring out the Holy Land Israel, the Hebrew Israelites in Demona, because she wanted to show that our people, we are the Hebrews. And to go to Jordan, to get to Jordan River, she got baptized in. So she specifically did these specific things to point out the Holy Land, Jordan River, the Hebrew Israelites. This is why they took Whitney out and why they killed her. And I hope her family really take note to this, because a lot of our people are caught up in being Muslims. A lot of our people are caught up in being, you know, what do you call those people? The foundational Black Americans, meaning that they are they think they are Nuwabics, and they believe that they are Egyptians, and they're into Egyptology and all this foolishness, when the truth of the matter is we are the Hebrews, we are the lost 12 tribes of Israel, and it's time for us to come out of America and get out of Babylon. And Whitney Houston was pointing directly to this in her message before she died. And this is why they took her out. And this is why they beat her and they disrespected her. They, tried to, they took her daughter out. They took Bobby Brown's son out. They, they did a lot because of what she did. Her whole family was wiped out. And they probably saved Bobby just to let him know. And that's why Bobby's doing shows and he ain't saying a word. But he was with her during this time. And they killed Bobby Brown's son. They took his son out, they took out his daughter, and they took Whitney Houston out. All because she let the world know that she knew she was a Hebrew Israelite. And she knew that Jordan is the safe place in our times. Okay? And I'm real passionate about this, brothers and sisters, because I'm here in Jordan. And I'm here because the Most High put me in this land and told me to get to the safe place so that I can speak and speak this information. Praise AHAYAH, Bahashim Yashaya. I'm so thankful, and I'm so thankful about being able to give this information. So let me show you the first video. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second. Let me see if this is it.
When Whitney Houston and husband Bobby...
But that's not the one I want right now. Hold on. Let me see if I got it. There's so much information, guys, I want to share. So just bear with me if you can. And I will. See if this one is it. I'm sorry, guys.
house. It was kind of funny, but like now I look at it, I see the
Unbelievable. There's a few short ones. Okay, here's one. Okay, so here's a few videos I'm going to play.
בחום של 44 מעלות חצה האוטובוס של וויטני יוסטון את כביש הבקעה לכיוון נהר הירדן. בנקודת הטבילה ממתינה כבר המקהלה.
היא הולכת לשיר איתכם גם? אולי, אני לא יודעת, אני לא בטוחה.
מנהל אתר הירדנית כבר מוכן לקבל את הטובלת המפורסמת.
הם ביקשו שנכין להם חליפות לטבילה ל-13 איש. אנחנו אגב גם כמובן מספקים את השירות הזה.
מה זה בעצם חליפת טבילה?
זה מגבת וחלוק לבן. ותעודה.
יש לכם פה שירותי פן, אם היא תרצה אחר כך
זה לא, אבל דברים אחרים כן.
ואז מגיעה הפמליה. כבר בכניסה וויטני פורצת בבכי תמרורים, אחיה החדשים מהקהילה מסתירים אותה. בחום הזה כל אחד, נוצרי, יהודי או זן בודהיסטי, היה שמח לטבול במים הקרירים של הירדן, אבל כנראה רק נוצריות אדוקות היו מוכנות להיראות בציבור.
Guys, I got all these windows playing. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry. Okay, that one is talking in Israel, in Israeli language, the modern Hebrew, and it's pretty. Okay. So you have to kind of read it.
יהודי או זן בודהיסטי היה שמח לטבול במים הקרירים של הירדן, אבל כנראה רק נוצריות אדוקות היו מוכנות להיראות בציבור עם הסדין הלבן הזה. לא פלא שהמאבטחים הופכים לאגרסיביים במיוחד נגד צלם מעריב יגאל לוי.
So here she is in the at the Jordan River, and she made a big to-do about this. She had cameras there. They did coverage on her going to Israel, getting baptized in the Jordan River. Now, knowing, even back then, 12 years ago, it struck my spirit. I did a video about this, talking about Whitney Houston sent a strong message. So here we are today with all this other information that has come out about Whitney Houston and how horrific her passing was and what was done to her, So I'm going to get more into it, but I just really want to point out how she made it a point to do what she did. And this was a big threat to someone like Clive Davis. Her letting our people know to even go to Israel, to get on that we can even get on a plane and go to Israel, because majority of us wouldn't even think to travel. You understand? So,
וויטני ובובי יורדים למים. בזכותו, וויטני כבר עברה הכל וחשפה הכל, אבל אף פעם לא בכתה כך לעיני המצלמות.
Yes, I'm talking about a brand new headline, yeah. Well, there will be peace, joy forevermore. Yes, I'm talking about a brand new.
This authorizes, my rebirth from.
This is Whitney Houston's brother.
Coming from America, coming to the Holy Land. That's it.
And do you think all of you feel this way? Whitney and Bobby and...
Yeah, Whitney's my sister, so I'm the oldest brother, so she's automatically, there's a redemptive, process here.
Okay, so I just wanted to really share these videos, and I really pray that you like and share this this video, because our people are sitting around in America just spinning their wheels, under Egyptology, being Muslim, and all these things, when these people are sitting back laughing at us. And so I really wanted to put out how Whitney Houston really put her life on the line by going to Israel, making this video, making it public, getting the Hebrew Israelites to baptize her and going to the Jordan River to be baptized. It was a huge, huge message. This is the only safe place. Jordan, at the end times, when the system in America is about to collapse, the banks are failing, the stores, all the major stores are closing. They are, making sure food is not going to be readily available. Our people really need to know to get out of America, and that Jordan is the safe place. This is the only place. There a lot of people are, sending our people to Africa. A lot of our people are running to Africa because in 70 AD, we fled into Africa. But we fled into Africa. We had to go to Africa because we were going into slavery. We are no longer going into slavery, brothers. We are coming into our salvation. Jordan is the safe place. This is where our forefathers dwelled. For 40 years in the wilderness, it was in Jordan. And 40 years we dwelled before we end up going into Israel. But the land has to be cleansed first. So we are to come to Jordan until all these things, the war happens. The Most High is going to protect us through all of that. The children of Israel must make it to Jordan. So I ask that you please share this video. Please share it so that Whitney Houston family can know why she died and what she did. She did a great thing for our people. She stood up like no one ever stood up. And she made sure that she put this information out. And I'm so thankful to AHAYAH that someone like me was able to see it and recognize what she did and how important it was for our people, for our community, for this awakening, that she went to Israel to be baptized in the Jordan River by the Hebrew Israelites. That was huge. And so that day, they knew they had to get rid of her. Now, let me show you something else that she did that was amazing. But she knew what she was doing. Okay? Hold on. Let me find it. Let me show you. Hold on. It's amazing, that she even, knew to do that. That was huge. Praise the highest. So let me, I keep doing wrong. This information is very crucial to our awakening. Here's another clip. And this is where they're
בחום של 44 מעלות חצה האוטובוס של וויטני יוסטון את כביש הבקעה לכיוון נהר הירדן. בנקודת הטבילה ממתינה כבר המקהלה.
Sorry guys, that's the one I already saw. Maybe this one.
2003, they were seeking...
Here. Okay, here it is. Now listen to this. How they're being very disrespectful.
When Whitney Houston and husband Bobby Brown left for Israel in May of 2003, they were seeking spiritual guidance and respite from a recent drama over her alleged drug habits. Instead, they got a debacle, Whitney style.
So we know, of course, these Jewish people are going to try to play it down. And they, because she was supposed to be in a drunken and, a stupor because of the drugs that she was supposed to be on. But she snapped out of it somehow and got on the plane and went to Israel to be baptized. Check it out.
The cracktacular Whitney and Bobby going to Israel.
It's like, first of all, why?
Here on a spiritual retreat, visiting my family in Dimona.
Israel in May of 2003, they were seeking spirit.
And of course, our own people would sit up there and be speaking against her like that, you know, because they in the days, they don't know who they are, and they don't know how significant, you know, this is that she was doing.
Spiritual guidance and respite from a recent drama over her alleged drug habits. Instead, they got a debacle, Whitney style. The cracktacular Whitney and Bobby going to Israel.
It's like, first of all, why?
Here on a spiritual retreat, visiting my family in Dimona.
Second of all, who invited them? Whitney.
You notice she said my family in Dimona. Hold on. She knew what she was doing, and she knew what she was saying.
Houston showed up, my land, my land.
I love Israel. Yeah, what are you going to say this morning? My land.
I bet Israel.
So she goes to Israel on national TV and talk about my land, my land. She knew what she was doing.
Israelis and Palestinians were like, we've been fighting over this land for years. Get it.
And then they're going to try to act like they don't know. They all know who Whitney Houston is. They know that she's from the 12 tribes of Israel. They try to act like, because the majority of us didn't know, you know, so they're going to play dumb. Listen.
Mine.
I thought she was from Jersey.
Then in what...
You see how smart they were being? Now, she was saying my land, during the whole time. Look how Bobby was acting. He knew. He knew. He knew they was in trouble. Hold on.
It'd be best described as an unlikely photo op. Whitney and Bobby did a meet and greet with Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, whose hand Whitney declined to shake.
She didn't even want to shake the Prime Minister of Israel hand, y'all. This is how much a slap in the face it was that she was giving them. And so, you know, Clive Davis was back in America seething. She went and made a mockery of him. Listen, she was signed under Arista Records. She went to Israel and she even refused to shake the top Jew's hand. So, you know, she made a mockery out of Clive Davis. But she knew what she was doing because they had, you know, all her whole life was a lie. And we knew nothing about it, but she knew. So this was her way. This was her get back. Check it out. Hold on.
Shake his hand.
His hand Whitney declined to shake.
She wouldn't shake his hand.
Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, whose hand Whitney declined to shake.
She wouldn't shake his hand.
Check it out.
Ariel
She
Sharon,
knew,
whose
y'all.
hand Whitney declined to shake.
She wouldn't shake his hand.
What could be best described as an unlikely photo op. Whitney and Bobby did a meet and greet with Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, whose hand Whitney declined to shake.
She wouldn't shake his hand.
So y'all, we have to let her family know what Whitney Houston did and what she knew. This sister knew she was a Hebrew Israelite. She knew that Jordan was the safe place at the end times. And she gave a very, very important message of, you know, by what she did. So much so that her enemies, they knew they had to take her out. Now, you know how Esau do. He waited a long time. He let her, you know, she did this. And she, you know, it was like 12 years later. Not even 12, maybe like 10 years. And it's the same thing they did to like Michael Jackson when he came out and said Tommy Mottola was the devil. He too was trying to tell our people indirectly. Prince, you know, put slave on his head and, you know, and they waited a long time to get him back after they got their masters back and got, you know, everything. Same thing with Michael Jackson by, you know, buying the Beatles catalog. That was a slap in the face. And this is how they do them. This is how they do our people. Because our people, once they got into that business and they started making money and they understood who they were and who the people they were dealing with are. Esau, the Jews, the fake Jews that planted themselves in Israel, took our land and sitting here, making a mockery of us in America. With the pornography, everything, they trying to, discredit us and make us look bad and, take our money and, cause a wedge between Jay-Z and Dame Dash, all these kind of underhanded things throughout the years, throughout our 400 years in America. This is all they've been doing to us. And our brothers and sisters were trying to cry out. They were crying out. Michael Jackson and Prince, they all was trying to give the message. But Whitney's message was the biggest message and the greatest message any one of them could ever have sent. Praise AHAYAH by Hashem Yashaya. She got on a plane, went to Israel, did a big photo op, refused to shake the prime minister of Israel's hand because she knows that they're the fake Jews there, and let the world know. She let the Hebrew Israelites baptize her in the Jordan River. She knew, brothers and sisters, and her family needs to know that Whitney Houston died to let her people know that we are the true Jews in America. And it's time to come out. It's time to get out of America, brothers and sisters. Jordan is the safe place. Now, there's a lot to it. It ain't going to be easy because, first of all, we got to learn to come back to the Most High. His name is AHAYAH. I am that I am. In Exodus 3:14 in scriptures, he told Moses, I am that I am. It translates to the nation Hebrew, AHAYAH, Asher AHAYAH. AHAYAH is the Most High's name. And his son name is Yashaya. Yashaya means save or savior in the ancient Phoenician Hebrew. So Whitney Houston gave this message. So our people needs to know that there is a safe place, and we need to get to the safe place because they're going to tear America apart with our people in it. That's why they're bringing all those migrants in to, take over the jobs and this and that. They're going to leave people homeless. They're going to leave our people without money. You're going to have to take the chip that Elon Musk is about to present. And that is the mark of the beast that the Bible tells you not to take. Brothers and sisters, there's a safe place. Jordan is that place. You need to get there. Okay, let me just run that back once more time, letting you know Whitney Houston was giving you a message. And Bobby Brown knew. He knew what they were doing. And he knew that there was going to be trouble afterwards.
Whitney and Bobby did a meet and greet with Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, whose hand Whitney declined to shake.
She was his hand. What the heck? What was she smoking?
Right. See, he had no idea. He had no idea. This is our one of our brothers. Another Hebrew Israelite would sit there and mock her. He had no idea what he was saying or doing, but she did. She knew exactly what she was doing. Praise AHAYAH. And unfortunately, she knew her days were numbered after this. She didn't know when or where or how, but they ended up taking down her daughter. They ended up taking out her daughter. They took out Bobby Brown's son. This is why Whitney Houston was killed in the way she was killed. They beat her very badly. They took her out. They took her daughter out in the same way. It was all rituals, all demonic rituals. And then to come to find out, and I'll show you the video, that the man who molested her, the pastor that molested her, her funeral was at that same man's church. They did Whitney dirty because of what she revealed. And she let her people know. So that's why, brothers and sisters, I have to cry out and spare not and tell you, because I know our people don't understand the significance of what Whitney Houston did and why she did that and why she had to die that horrific death she died. How they took her out. Her child, they took her daughter out. They took Bobby Brown's son out. All because they were sacrificed like that because she broke the code. And she did it for her people. So I am so excited to stand here and sit here before you and tell you this information and give it to the children of Israel and tell you that Jordan is the safe place and that there is going to be a place of safety when all Hades break loose in Babylon, aka America. It's coming, brothers and sisters. There is a safe place. Get out. Get out. Hold on. Let me see. Let's skip.
What the heck? What was she smoking?
Okay. So that's another video, but that's the main one because of what, how they tried to mock her and make, mockery of her. So I'm going to show you a little bit of another one, given the same information. They did a whole documentary on it because, the powers that be did not appreciate her putting out this information. They did not appreciate it. Hold on. She did the right thing and she did it right. Cameras and everything. The Hebrew Israelites were singing. She went to the Jordan River. Oh, she went all out. Hold on.
That my mother had for me and she has for me.
Nice.
One day my mother came to my house. It was kind of funny, but like now I look at it, I see the love and the passion that my mother had for me and she has for me.
My son called me.
Mm-hmm. Gary called.
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He said, Mama, we have to do something about, I said, okay.
In the glitzy corridors of the music industry, secrets and legends lurk in every shadow. One name stands out amongst them, shining as bright as a supernova.
Okay, so that video goes more into the other aspect of this that I'm going to go into. So give me a second, guys. I want to find the documentary. And hold on. Here we go. I'm not going to play all of it, but I want to play it because it's 40 minutes long.
This multi-platinum star of stage and screen falls so far. What happened to Whitney?
Whitney Houston was like Barbra Streisand. Now Whitney Houston is a joke.
Tonight, with exclusive footage, a look
Again,
at
they're
Whitney's
mocking
wild
her.
ride, from bizarre behavior
She couldn't remember the words, the song, or even what song to sing.
to those rumors of drug use.
Have you ever seen her do drugs? With your own eyes.
Cut a bit of a camera.
To questions about her marriage to one of music's bad boys.
They love each other, and they share the secret, which is?
Now, after a CD that flopped, being sued by her own father, and a milestone 40th birthday.
I feel about turning 40.
So I want to make a note of that she was being sued by her father. So, because there's a whole lot that went on with her. And, I just wanted to make a note of it.
Where does she go from here?
The last 2 years have probably been among the most difficult for her, maybe her entire life.
Go along on the singer's strange and emotional pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Will it help her fight her way back? Can she hit the high notes again? Otakatbi with Whitney Houston, Diva in the Desert, when Dateline continues.
This is ABC Dateline.
From our studios in Rockefeller Center, here is Stone Phillips.
Good evening. She grew up with gospel music and can sing like an angel. At age 22, Whitney Houston's first album sold 22 million copies. But this multi-talented, multi-octave singer has been through some highs and lows in the years since, both personally and professionally. And some of the lows have been very public. Missed concert dates, forgotten lyrics, a run-in with the law. For many of her fans, it's been puzzling and painful to watch. Now at age 40, She has embarked on a spiritual journey, one that has taken her to faraway places and maybe taking her to a new place in her life. Where is Whitney headed? Here's Hoda Kotb.
We met her when she was 20.
The voice lets loose, and it's like Michael Jordan leaping from the free throw line.
She just turned 40. In the last 2 decades, we've seen her meteoric rise to the top.
Whitney Houston was like Barbara Streisand. Now Whitney Houston is a joke.
Good morning, Ms. Houston. We also saw her seemingly self-destructive plunge to the bottom. She is now more frequently seen in gossip columns than concert halls. Her image selling tabloids, not CDs. Drama, dirt, and drugs.
The only question that I always have for Whitney, is she high? Is she high?
There is the good Whitney, the bad Whitney, and the question. 40 years old. It's not right, but is she okay?
Tonight, we will look back at Whitney Houston's turbulent career and show you the star like you have never seen her, up close, through exclusive footage.
This past May, she and husband Bobby Brown went on a week-long spiritual journey halfway around the world, from Jerusalem to the Jordan River. In this hour, we ask, was this just the latest, strangest thing she's done, or a last-ditch effort of a deeply religious woman to finally turn her life around? It is quite a long way from home for the beautiful girl from Newark, New Jersey, singing here in 1975 at the New Hope Baptist Church. She was called Nippy then, still in the shadow of cousin pop star Dionne Warwick and mother famed gospel singer Cissy Houston, who warned her daughter from the very start about the vicious industry she was going into.
When I decided to become an entertainer, she said, "Oh, you want to be a singer, huh?" And she said, "Well, do you want to be in show business?" I said, "Well, isn't that the same thing? I mean, I want to sing, so that's what I want to do." She said, No. It's a whole different world."
But as Rolling Stone contributing editor Torre says, Whitney was on an inevitable course from birth.
To have a gospel singer as your mother, and
she sure was. She was groomed and she was sacrificed to Moloch. That's what really happened to her. She was sacrificed. So I'm going to play a little bit more of this, but then I'm going to go into the tragedy of her life and what they did to her and how did she get to the place that she was. She was groomed, brothers and sisters, and she was set up to fall.
also to have, the same gene pool that Dionne Warwick has. It's like the stars are coalescing to create potentially the bionic singer.
By 17, Whitney was appearing in New York nightclubs with her mother.
And then the best ears in town comes by, Clive Davis, and he says, "Yep, you're right, and I'm taking her to the top. We're going to make $1 million on this one."
Arista President Clive Davis would take Whitney as a protege and guide her to one of the most successful careers in music history. She was barely more than 20 years old when became the best-selling female debut album in history. And since then, 8 consecutive multi-platinum albums, over 100 million sold. Whitney's songs would become the soundtrack of a generation.
I started betting.
Now, I want to really just point out, brothers and sisters, that Whitney Houston, they sacrificed her to Moloch. And, this is what they did to her from a young age. So now we're going to go into that because I really wanted to first make people understand why she was killed in the manner she was killed, why they took her out, and why they did her so dirty, why she was killed and drowned in the bathtub. I mean, it was just horrific for somebody of that magnitude to go out that way. But why? Is because she broke the code and she sent a clear message to the children of Israel on where to go, what to do, and who they are. She got on a plane to Israel and got baptized by the Hebrew Israelites in Dimona and in the Jordan River. Jordan is the safe place, brothers and sisters. This is where we're going to be in the wilderness here, like our forefathers. We are the children of Israel. We are the lost 12 tribes of Israel. And Whitney Houston knew it, and she tried to tell it. And so I'm so thankful that someone like me understood it. It was the Most High who put it on my spirit. I understood it when I saw that video of her getting baptized in the Jordan River. It blew me away. Praise AHAYAH. So I gotta keep screaming this to the rooftops. I gotta keep telling and get this shared to her family members so her family could know who they are. They need to know that they are Hebrew Israelites. We are the lost 12 tribes of Israel. We came there on cargo slave ships, and now the Most High is calling us back. And Jordan is the safe place. And there is things that they must do. They must know to come and get back to AHAYAH, get back under the Lord's statutes and commandments. We are a holy people, brothers and sisters. We are a holy people. And we have to come back to the Lord's statutes. That's the only way how the curses fall off of us. So it's important. Now I want to share with you what happened to Whitney. Bobby Brown's sister has done many videos because she's trying to vindicate Whitney Houston. But the only thing is she doesn't understand why they killed Whitney Houston the way they did. And she talks about it in this video. But I want you to hear what she revealed about Whitney's past and how what she was done to her. It comes out that Sissy Houston was not her real mother. The father, John Houston, was, had an affair, and not even an affair. It seemed like it was an underage woman. This woman, Teresa Graves, is, supposedly Whitney Houston's real mother. She had Whitney at 15 years old and what gave Whitney up like for adoption, but she gave the child to John, the husband, and Sissy and John ended up raising Whitney Houston. But in that, because Sissy was so entangled in the music industry, she was already, singing for Elvis Presley background. She was well connected. They sacrificed Whitney Houston to Moloch and gave her over to Clive Davis. She was sacrificed to him. And that's why she had the biggest career, but they did her so dirty. First of all, I told you at 12 years old, she was raped by the pastor. And Sissy Houston was aware of it, and she was there while it happened. It was a sacrifice, even at that time. And so she went through that demonic ritual of being raped and then thrown into the music industry. And, the rest is all what we know. But it was nothing but a sacrifice. Her life was given over. But that's why Whitney Houston figured out a way and got some get back. And she got to tell the children of Israel who they were. And she went to Israel and got baptized in the Jordan River. So she got some big, get back, because a sister like me got the message. And I got to keep screaming from the rooftops. And I pray you share it, you subscribe, you comment, you talk about this, because a lot of people are talking about this with Whitney Houston, that Sissy Houston is not her real mother. It's really out there. Everybody's talking about this, but they don't know why she was killed the way she was killed. And that information is what piece of the puzzle that I'm able to bring out. So we got to put this out there and let it go viral to on TikTok and all these places that everybody talk, because Ray J, that's why he's being haunted right now. He's about to commit suicide for the wickedness of his participation in the demise of Whitney Houston. It's a shame that this brother would do that to the sister, sell her out and be her drug runner or whatever. He may have been the one who helped beat her up and drown her in that tub. This is how wicked our people are to each other. This is a young brother would do that to another sister. A huge success. And she probably was a sacrifice so that Brandy could get on. Because you know that Whitney Houston, before her death, 2 days, passed Brandy a note. She did another big, message While they were live on air, Brandy and Monica was having an interview with Clive Davis. Whitney Houston breaks into the room, passes Brandy a note, and no one ever found out what was on that note. But I believe Whitney Houston was given a message, letting everybody know that Brandy was a key to it, because Ray J was sent to take her out. Ray J was the one. I believe that was what it was. Nothing so much that was on the note. It was the message was giving it to Brandy, because her brother was the main, part of doing Clive Davis' dirty work. Even now, to this day, he tried to help in Wendy Williams' demise as well. There, people are talking about that. Tried to set Wendy up with drugs as well. But so this thing is deep, brothers and sisters, and it needs to be known why she was killed, what the message was, why they thought that they need to get rid of her the way they did, because she gave a powerful message to the children of Israel, letting us know that Jordan is the safe place, and that the Hebrew Israelites are very significant. That's who we are. Whitney gave a message. And although she had to die for that, it was a message for our people. And our people need to know to get out of America, come to Jordan is a safe place, and start to prepare. That's what the message that Whitney Houston, she died for. Okay, I'm going to go to Lily's message. Hold on. Her Bobby Brown's sister. Hold on. Also put the information out of what happened to Whitney, how they sacrificed her to Moloch, gave her up as a child, because Sissy Houston wasn't her real mother. She didn't really care what happened to her. They just was all about the money. And that's why another reason why they took out Whitney's daughter. And all the money went back to Sissy Houston and her sons. They were only Whitney Houston's half brothers. There wasn't, so they obviously didn't care. She had nobody really looking out for her. Only her, Bobby Brown's sister, is speaking up. And even she won't even point the finger to Clive Davis. He is he has always been the demise of our people. Luther Vandross. What's that other singer? Phyllis Hyman. There's a whole long list of our people that fell to the hands of Clive Davis. But Whitney was the only one who can get this message across. Praise AHAYAH Bahashim Yashaya. So let me share and show you this video of Leela, Bobby Brown's sisters, telling you what happened to Whitney as a child.
In front of her mother.
Hold on.
In that bed with her mother. Conversation with Gary's first wife and how that went down with Pat coming in. That told me that
Pat was the handler. She is a handler that was sent in with Whitney, to watch over Whitney, to control everything as they set up Whitney to die. Pat is Whitney's brother's wife, who ended up marrying Whitney's brother and becoming the executor over Whitney's estate under Sissy Houston and Clive Davis. Hold on.
Pat was also sent in, just like Alicia was with my brother. Now, my younger
Let me just tell y'all, Alicia is Bobby Brown's new wife. She's saying that she believed she was also sent in. Just like Cat Williams said, they give you these wives, they are the handlers. They'll send these people in, as your wife or your husband, and they will be your handler, watching your every move, setting you up to make sure for this whole awakening. So listen to what she's saying.
Cool Carol, she sat in a room with Alicia and an attorney. And Alicia must have forgotten that my younger sister was sitting in the room. Bobby was taking too long in the room with the funeral director, I believe it was. And Alicia jumps up and says, oh no, this is it. I can't take this. I'm not going to be able to do this. I ain't going to do this when Bobby dies. Like, in other words, she's not dealing with a funeral when Bobby dies. She's not going through all that. Maybe she plans on cremating Bobby and having no funeral. I don't know, but Bobby was with the funeral director, and that's what you have to go through when you're dealing with a funeral, a funeral. That was for my dad. Bobby took too long, and Alicia jumps up and says, oh no, I can't deal with this. Just tell me how I can get his money without marrying him. So whoever that attorney friend was that she said that to, and I still don't know who the attorney was to this day. She knows something about Alicia being sent in for my brother. Okay, so this is not hard for people to do, you guys. I believe Alicia was sent in, and I believe Pat Houston was sent in to the Houston family.
Because as you see, Bobby Brown was with Whitney Houston in Israel. He knew exactly what was going on. So they had to send a handler in to watch him. They took out his son. They took out Bobby Christina, the daughter, and Whitney Houston. The whole family was taken out, and they left Bobby Brown. And that's why he looks like a hot mess right now, even though he's trying to, get himself together and be performing and all this stuff. They probably told him, you better lay down and do what we tell you to do. So she's saying that the wife is the handler. And so is Pat, who is Whitney's half-brother's wife.
Just the same. Trust me. Yes, because of the stories that I'm hearing, there's nothing else to look to. There's no other answers. She had to be sent in. And then for her to say that Whitney made Pat Houston, to say that Whitney Houston made the worst decisions by choosing Bobby Brown. Bobby is not nearly Pat, the man that Gary is, if you want to talk about drugs. What does that say about you, Pat, choosing Gary? A person that's been on drugs for years. I mean, I'm only speaking truth. And I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm speaking truth. Okay? Now, what I'm trying to say is, Pat was definitely sent in. And I believe whoever sent Pat in the Houston family, they knew. They knew. And I don't know if Mama Sissy knew. I don't know. But what got me was, and this is to Mama Sissy. What got me was the fact that Whitney had her funeral, where she had her funeral. And I know people looking at this video don't understand what Leola is saying right now, but I will explain. Whitney Houston, and this is not a lie, this is the absolute truth. Whitney Houston was raped as a little girl. I don't think she was 12. She was a little girl. And what happened was, Whitney said she came out of her room She said her dad wasn't home this day. She walked into Mama Sissy's room. Mama Sissy was in the room with the pastor of their church. And Whitney said that when she went in the room, she saw the pastor laying in the bed with Mommy. So she closed the door back and tried to run. But her mother called her back, and so did the pastor. And her mother said, come in here. And Whitney was forced to get up in that bed with her mother and the pastor. I'm so sorry. Yes, this happened to Whitney as a little girl. And so this broke Whitney. People want to know why Whitney was on drugs and did not get off drugs right away. She suffered a lot. She suffered a lot as a child. And then for everybody else to tell me that her mother didn't really look at her like her daughter because she allowed Whitney to suffer many things, okay? Now, I'm not looking for anybody to bash her mother. Why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Because we need to come to God. Whatever it is that we have done in this earth, Black people, and the Houstons are not the only ones that have issues in their family. We have issues too. You understand? But the only way that we can break this chain and get over this and heal as a people is if we confront the issues, the problems, the root of the problem, and then begin to heal. A lot of us need counseling. Whitney didn't get the chance to do that. Her virginity was taken as a little girl by her mother and a pastor. Yes. And then when Whitney died, they packed Houston. And I guess Mama Sissy, because Mama Sissy is responsible too. They had Whitney's funeral at this man's church, the man that raped Whitney. And that was so unfair. That was so unfair, people. And that's why I was crying so hard in the church when I said that man was holding me. I was in the church because I had realized that that was the church of the pastor that raped Whitney when she was a little girl. They could have had her funeral anywhere else, but not there. Not there. Not where Whitney, this man raped Whitney as a child. You understand?
So this is why it's important to put this out, because someone like her, she doesn't understand. Why would they do Whitney like that? They don't understand. She's the number one, American singer in the world. Why would they kill her and do her so dirty like this? Why? Because Whitney Houston broke the code. She broke the oath, and she let the cat out the bag. She gave away a big, huge secret that we are the lost tribe of Israel. The 12 tribes. We are the lost tribe, the Hebrew Israelites in Dimona. She went to Israel and got baptized in their face, on their cameras, on their news. And she wouldn't shake the prime minister of Israel, the top demon in Israel, she went there and wouldn't shake his hand and got on the plane and said, my land, my land. She slapped him. She did a job. And that's why our people need to understand why they are doing our people the way they are doing our people. And our people are sitting in there hoping and thinking they're going to give reparations. They hate the children of Israel. They will do you so dirty. They're not trying to give away no money, brothers and sisters. And listen, I wish they would. They would have to be really, really forced to, brothers and sisters, because they hate the children of Israel. And they've been doing us dirty like this the whole 400 years we've been in that land. We have to snap out of the psychosis and get up out of there. Our people really do believe that they can sit there for any reason is ridiculous. They hate you. They don't want to see you rise to power, brothers and sisters, because they're going to have to serve you. Wake up out of it. You must come out of Babylon. America is Babylon and is set to be destroyed. It's prophesied in the Bible to be destroyed. Get out, get out, get out. Jordan is the safe place. And this is why Whitney Houston was killed, because she made a video showing that Jordan is the place. The Hebrew Israelites baptized her in the Jordan River. She pointed to a location, brothers and sisters. And Clive Davis needed to take her out. And they did it in such a horrible, horrible, horrible way. They did that to the daughter of Zion, our sister, our Hebrew sister. This is how they did her. And they used our brothers to take her down. Use Ray J, use Brandy. And this is what they've been perpetrating throughout this in America over the 400 years that we've been there. We got to let our people know. We got to start talking. We got to start sharing this information. Let our people know we are not Muslims. We are not Nuwabics, and we are not Egyptologists. We are the Hebrew Israelites, the lost 12 tribes of Israel. And the Most High is calling us out of America before destruction hits. We must leave, brothers and sisters. We must get this information out so people can understand exactly why Whitney Houston had to go, why they had to kill her. Why? Because she spat in their face. She refused to shake the hand of the prime minister of Israel. She went to his country and refused to shake his hand. She knew what she was doing. She left this message for you, brothers and sisters, so y'all will wake up and somebody like me can tell you what to do and get out and where to go. Jordan is the safe place. AHAYAH is calling his people back. We're going back, brothers and sisters, but you must get yourselves together. You must clean yourselves up with all the foolishness that we've learned in Babylon, all the low thinking and low level debauchery we've been, waddling in filth in America. Get yourselves together and get out. She has no idea.
That was devastating for me. Because I knew what Whitney suffered as a little girl.
Praise
yes,
God.
She was raped.
I'm so sorry.
Pastor. She said her mother and that pastor said, no, come back in here. And they made her get up in that bed, and that man took her virginity in front of her mother. And that was so sad.
And the only way she can do that was not her child. That was not her child. Whitney Houston was not Sissy Houston's daughter. Now, let me get into the other information. Now, I'm going to put all the videos are going to be in the link so you can watch them straight out yourself, because I don't want this video to be too long, because I want people to watch it and pay attention. Now we're coming to the part where who was Whitney's mother. Check this out. The woman, Teresa Graves, who was from that show, that hit TV show, Get Christy Love. I'm going to show you, videos of her and stuff too. But I want y'all to know that y'all got to go and watch the movie Get Christy Love. It was a primetime movie that came on before the series. Nobody has brought this out yet. Everybody's talking about Teresa Graves being Whitney's mother. You know, it's been out for years, and it's been an industry secret that's been bubbling. But now it's coming out. But brothers and sisters, y'all got to go see this movie. The whole movie is about, Teresa Graves being an undercover police officer. But the whole movie is geared around a woman who got molested at 15 and got pregnant and had a baby. She had the baby at 15 years old. And she ended up giving the baby up for adoption. And the whole, there's other stuff with the story, but the whole story is based around what really happened to Teresa Graves with Whitney Houston. Now, the story is, Teresa Graves was growing up in the music industry. She was a singer in this some group. And I'll show you a video about giving her information. She was a singer, a young singer coming up, getting ready to graduate from high school. But she did this band, a 30 people band that sang like folk almost music or something. It doesn't show how she ended up running into John Houston, but it does tell his background was like he was a truck driver or something like that. He ended up getting into the music business as a manager. So, and he was managing Sissy and her girl groups and different things on the come up. So there was definitely a possibility that he did run into this young girl. Well, Teresa Graves had to have had Whitney at like 15 years old, because she was, she wasn't that much older. She was like 15 years older than Whitney or something like that. So she had to have gotten pregnant and had the baby at 15 and gave the child to John to raise, because she wanted to continue her career. She goes on to, her career, and she does Laughing and a lot of big hit movies before, she drops out and becomes a Jehovah's Witness. But during this time, she does this movie, Get Christy Love, the movie, not the series, because everybody's talking about the series. It was the Sunday night movie came on TV, and it was the premiere of Get Christy Love. The whole movie is about a woman having this child because she was raped or molested at 15, and she gave the child up for adoption. And the whole thing is based on her. And at the end, she sees the child, but it's a boy. It's a boy child. She gets to see the boy child right before she dies. Uncanny, y'all. This was a eerie story of this woman, how Teresa Graves. Now, the story is that she met John somewhere along the line. She got pregnant and had Whitney and gave Whitney to John and Sissy to raise. Well, Sissy, because she, I don't even want to tell you how evil she looks, even in her face. But can you imagine a woman raising another woman's child that was the mistress of your husband? So you could tell, that there was some disdain. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, because she ended up sacrificing Whitney to Moloch, giving her up to child sacrifice. And that's how she ended up being raped by the pastor, go on, giving her to Clive Davis. They took out. But what Whitney ended up doing was a slap in the face to Clive. And so that's why it was so detrimental, the rest of her life, and how she was taken out, her daughter being taken out, Bobby Brown's son being taken out. They had to pay a price, and boy, did they pay the price. So I want to show you the video about, Teresa Graves. She's telling you that something was wrong. Why? How could Sissy? And she's still not even trying to blame Sissy. How can a mother do that to a child? Any woman could do that to any child, let alone your mother. I mean, what in the world? That is horrific that had to happen to you. And then she has to go on to be a singer and perform and all this stuff. I mean, that has to be The worst, thing that can happen to anybody. Horrible. And then she probably found out. Whitney probably found out. I believe she knew that Teresa Graves was her mother. I believe she knew who her mother was. Okay, so let me get into that. Hold on. I don't know which is this. Let me see if this.
Yet beneath her meteoric rise and unparalleled voice, whispers began to emerge, questioning her very lineage. Could it be that the world-renowned Whitney Houston's roots trace back to another starlet of yesteryears? What if the heart and soul of this musical diva were not what they seemed? Could the shimmering starlight of Whitney Houston have been cast from an unexpected source? As we dive into the depths of this enigma, we uncover the mysterious connection between Whitney Houston and another remarkable figure, Teresa Graves. The puzzle pieces start to form a picture, but will the final image be one we recognize? Interestingly, while many have come to know and love Whitney Houston for her powerful voice and impactful songs, few are privy to the rumors that have circulated in hushed tones, suggesting a deeper connection with Teresa Graves. Together, let's unravel this intricate web and discover the truth behind the curtain of glamour and fame. The music industry, much like Hollywood, has always been shrouded in a mist of mysteries, rumors, and secrets that often go untold. Some tales seem too wild to be true, while others, even if shrouded in speculation, seem to resonate with a hint of reality. One such enduring rumor revolves around the legendary Whitney Houston,
Funny, they show Prince and Michael Jackson. They be knowing exactly what they're doing.
Name synonymous with vocal prowess and iconic performances. Whitney's rise to fame was meteoric, her voice unparalleled, but amid the glitz, glamour, and countless accolades, murmurs about the details of her birth echoed discreetly. Interestingly, these whispers didn't focus on Whitney's talent or her chart-topping hits. Instead, they hinted at a hidden connection to another luminary of the entertainment world, Teresa Graves. Teresa, a name celebrated in both music and television circles, was rumored to be Whitney's biological mother. Now, for anyone even remotely familiar with Whitney's history, this claim might sound audacious. After all, Whitney's mother was known to be Cissy Houston, a respected figure in the gospel music scene. But like all intriguing tales, the narrative of Teresa being Whitney's real mother found its own set of believers. Admittedly, on the surface, these claims may appear baseless. However, if we delve a bit deeper, tracing the timelines of both Whitney and Teresa, a fascinating pattern emerges. During the late 60s and early 70s, Teresa was making her mark in the world of entertainment. This was around the same time Whitney was born. Shockingly, despite their apparent connections in the industry, there isn't any public record of interactions between young Whitney and Teresa. This absence of interaction fueled the rumors further. Furthermore, their striking resemblance became a point of discussion. Many pointed out the uncanny similarities in their facial features, the shape of their eyes, and even the nuances of their smiles. Could genetics play a role, or was it mere coincidence? Digging deeper into Teresa's life during the late 60s reveals an intriguing timeline. She had started making waves in the industry, transitioning from her musical beginnings to explore the world of acting. Around this period, secrecy was a valuable currency in Hollywood. Artists often went to great lengths to maintain a pristine public image, even if it meant obscuring certain truths. Whitney's early life, too, wasn't without its share of challenges. Growing up, she was aware of the expectations placed upon her, not just because of her family's musical lineage, but also due to the pressures of the industry. Any potential scandal, especially one related to her birth, could have jeopardized her budding career. It's important to note that while the rumor mill churned out stories, there was never any concrete evidence linking Teresa to Whitney as her biological mother. No DNA tests, no hidden letters, and no confessions. But the lack of evidence didn't quell the rumors. Instead, it added an aura of mystery, making the tale even more captivating. Additionally, there were those who believed that the rumor was not just a simple case of celebrity gossip. Some thought it was a deliberate attempt to tarnish Whitney's image, a tactic used by rivals or detractors. In the competitive world of the music industry, artists often face not only the pressures of performance, but also the challenges posed by competition and jealousy. Whispers of a secret often ignite curiosity. And when such a secret involves two celebrated figures from the world of music, the intrigue grows exponentially. To understand the gravity of the rumor suggesting Teresa Graves as Whitney Houston's real mother, it's vital to consider the backdrop against which it emerged. During the heydays of both these talented artists, the music industry, particularly in the United States, was undergoing significant changes. The tumultuous 60s and 70s were marked not just by the civil rights movement, but also by a vibrant cultural evolution. Music was at the forefront of this revolution, with genres like soul, gospel, and R&B gaining prominence. Interestingly, both Whitney and Teresa found their roots deep within these genres. Teresa's foray into the entertainment world began with singing. Although she later pivoted to acting, music remained an intrinsic part of her identity. Likewise, Whitney, even as a young artist, showcased a vocal range and depth that resonated with the soulful beats of the era. As their careers advanced, it became evident that both artists had an inherent connection to the rhythmic pulse of their times. Moreover, while Teresa and Whitney never publicly acknowledged any relationship beyond professional admiration, certain industry insiders alluded to a deeper connection. Conversations behind closed doors, subtle hints dropped during interviews, and guarded comments made by fellow artists added fuel to the speculative fire. If we step back and look at the broader picture, the 70s was a period when artists often had to make challenging personal decisions for the sake of their careers. The entertainment industry, while glamorous on the surface, had its dark underbelly. Tales of artists sacrificing personal relationships for professional gains were not uncommon. Given this context, it's conceivable that if the rumor had any grain of truth, both Whitney and Teresa might have had compelling reasons to keep their relationship under wraps. Furthermore, while the industry was evolving, societal norms were still relatively conservative. The idea of a young artist like Whitney at the threshold of her career being embroiled in a scandal related to her lineage could have been damaging. For Teresa, who was already navigating the challenges of being a Black woman in an industry dominated by men, any controversy could have jeopardized her hard-earned position. Considering these factors, it's no wonder that the rumor, even if baseless, found fertile ground to thrive. The environment of the 70s music industry, combined with the challenges faced by Black female artists, created a setting ripe for such tales. The shared musical roots of Whitney and Teresa, along with their uncannily similar career paths, only added layers to the narrative. Admittedly, even decades later, the truth remains elusive. However, as is often the case with such rumors, the absence of concrete evidence doesn't negate its allure. For fans and followers, the Teresa-Whitney connection, whether real or imagined, adds a layer of mystique to the legacies of both artists. It serves as a reminder that beneath the spotlight, even the most celebrated figures harbor secrets and stories waiting to be told. In hindsight, the rumor's endurance might also be attributed to the fans' deep-rooted desire to find connections between artists they adore. In an industry where relationships are often fleeting, the idea of a hidden bond between two legends carries a certain romantic charm. Whether this connection existed in reality or was merely a figment of...
Okay, I want to stop it here because there was another one. I had another one where it kind of went into Teresa's graves, how she, came up in the music industry. But let me see if I can find that one. Hold on. But basically, they're really, just, given the pros and the cons of the argument of whether that could be her mother or not. But you guys, you got to go watch the movie. Now, once you get the information on what happened to Whitney, that she, that wasn't, Cissy Houston is not her mother. It was given to Cissy and John, because Teresa was young and she was underage. The movie Get Christy Love is about a 15-year-old woman who had this child at 15 and gave the child up for adoption. I mean, the whole story is like based on what happened to Teresa Graves, supposedly, allegedly, Hold on, guys, my eyes. Let me find it. Let me see. It's just uncanny, and how much they look alike, sound alike, and the speaking voices even. It's uncanny. I mean, like, wow. Now the only thing is, so I kind of tried to show you guys everything, and I can show you parts of the movie. Let me just do that while I look for it. Hold on. Yeah, this is the movie. You gotta find it on YouTube. But the she's in she's a detective undercover. So she's the detective in the movie. But the lady who this thing is based upon was a woman who
We've got enough on you, Spiliotis, to arrest you right now. Taxes, fraud. How about a little manslaughter thrown in? Okay.
gave her child up for adoption. Hold on. Let me just see if I can show that part where she's talking about, this thing. Yeah, there's a whole spin on it. This is the woman here that she gave her child up for adoption. And it's just uncanny. But these Hollywood movies and all that stuff, they be Hollywood. It be like this, uncanny situations. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find where she's talking to. And she blurts out, the young girl blurts out that the father impregnated this little girl. Yeah, here it is. Here it goes. Just listen to this.
Finley. Christy, love. Police. And now, Mrs. Finley, about 10 years ago, you had as an employee a Helena Varga.
Helena?
Yes, I'd appreciate any information you can supply about her.
Information?
Yes, well, you see, she's applied for this very high security position in government. Helena? Well, I'm sorry I can't tell you anymore, but I'm sure you understand.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, what can I tell you? It's been a very long time.
Well, according to our records, Mrs. Finley, she spent a year here as companion to your daughter.
Yes, that's right. She came from some orphanage or convent or something, I think.
And at that time, she was also taking night courses at a business college. Now, their records show that she finished high school at 16, and she was studying bilingual stenography.
Lordy be.
Suddenly, she dropped out, and at the same time, she left here. Miss Finley, can you tell me why?
No, I can't. I think she got a better position.
Daddy knocked.
Amy!
So instead, the little girl, she let the cat out the bag. She's saying daddy knocked her up or whatever. So the girl was raped by this woman's husband. And she dropped us out of school, and she, ends up putting the child up for adoption. And this is exactly what they're saying that's happened to Teresa Graves in her life with Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston's father was probably a big time manager at the time, or, something happened, they crossed paths, and she is pregnant, and she drops the child off to John and Sissy Houston. And that's how, she raised the child. This is what is being said. So, AHAYAH. So this is why, basically, again, Whitney Houston was sacrificed to Moloch. She was given up as a child. She was raped by the pastor, and Sissy Houston, ended up giving her over to Clive Davis. So she was just sacrificed to become this big star that she was. But she ends up, like most people who have trauma in their lives, that those kind of traumatic things, getting into drugs and alcohol. And she was into this before she got with Bobby Brown. She was even into this when she was having this so-called allegedly affair with that young girl. She was in a same-sex relationship with the girl Robin. That was even while she was young. Even before she became a star. So it's traumatic what happened to this sister, and she ends up, again, in her height of her career, or she used her stardom to make a big publicity stunt by going to Israel, getting baptized in the Jordan River by the Hebrew Israelites. This is why Clive Davis took her out. And when she goes to Israel, she refused to shake the prime minister, hand. And she says, this is my land. This is my land. So she was definitely doing, the most. And she did what she needed to do because she gave a big sign to the Hebrew Israelite community. And someone like myself who was the Most High brought me out of Babylon for this very reason. So of course I was paying attention. Of course I noticed. And that's why I keep coming to you, brothers and sisters, with this kind of information. This sister had to die to give this information so that we can, get a clue, hopefully, to come out of Babylon before destruction hits America. They're banking on our people being stuck there with no food, no water, having to take the mark of the beast that Elon Musk is about to implement. We have to warn our people. They got to get up out of Babylon. Jordan is the safe place. That's the only place. Our people are running all over, running them up to Africa. Africa is not the place where we will be protected. We must come back into the wilderness, the same wilderness that our forefathers were in, that was here in Jordan. And we must come back to the Most High. His name is AHAYAH. AHAYAH. His son name is Yashaya. We must come back under the Lord's statutes and commandments, brothers and sisters. Whitney Houston died. This is why they took her out, because of what she did. She broke the oath. And they could do nothing else with her but, plan her demise afterwards. They took out her daughter. They took out Bobby Brown's son because Bobby Brown was right there with her. And look, he's in, and then the sister Leona believes that the wife that he married now is a handler. They put her there to watch him, to make sure nothing, he doesn't do anything. And also Whitney Houston half brother has a handler, Pat. They took over her estate. All the money went back to Sissy Houston and Clive David. They did the big music movie, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Clive and Pat, they got the proceeds to that. Everybody got paid while Whitney Houston was taken out. And she risked her life. She gave her life up, y'all, to get us this information. We must come out of Babylon. Get out, get out, get out. She died so that somebody else can make it. Jordan is the safe place. Please let our people know. The whole internet is buzzing right now because of this information. Because Whitney Houston, everybody's talking about Whitney Houston's mother, who her real mother is. This woman on the screen is Teresa Graves. This is her mother. And then I believe she was raped or molested at 15 and had that child and gave it to John. John was the molestor. He was the one who took advantage of her at a young age. And that was his child. And Sissy raised the child. But that's why there was never really any love or compassion, anything for Whitney Houston until she died. And from the looks of it, go into these videos in the description box. You can hear the whole story about for this sister, Layla Brown needs to get all the pieces of the puzzle so she can understand why Whitney was killed in the manner she was killed. She needs to know this. All of them need to know. Our people need to know why Whitney Houston died the way she died. Because she broke the oath. She tried to get the message out that we are the Hebrews. We are the true children of Israel. And Jordan is the safe place. She went specifically to Israel to get baptized in the Jordan River so somebody could get a clue. So we must wake up, brothers and sisters. Please share the video, send me comments so we can put comments back and forth in my chat. A lot of people don't want to comment on my chats. They don't want to do anything. We got to keep this thing, push it and move it forward, brothers and sisters. Our people have got to know. We got to wake them up. They got to know that there is a safe place. Running to Africa is not going to save you. Jordan is the place. He said he will protect those. The Bible specifically said he will protect those found within his borders. Jordan is right on the outskirts of Israel. We're in the borders. When you're in Jordan, you're within his borders, but you're not in Israel. It's not Israel per se. It's within the borders. It's on the outskirts of the Holy Land. So I pray I've given enough information. Please follow through with the information, brother. Tell our people we are not Muslims. We are the Hebrew Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, along with the Puerto Ricans, the Indians, and the Venezuelans, and Samoans, and there's so many, there's 12 tribes. But Judah is the head tribe, and we are in America predominantly. We are the tribe that Christ came out of. Yashaya is his name. Brothers and sisters, we must come back under the laws, statutes, and commandments. We must come back. Get under the laws, statutes, and commandments. Put all the foolishness down. No eating pork, no catfish, none of that shrimps and lobster, none of that stuff. Put it all down and come back to the Father. Everything we've learned in Babylon, everything we've learned there has been a lie. And it's been against the Most High. They've done it on purpose, brothers and sisters. Get back into the Bible. That's our book. They lied to us even about that. Put the Bible in front of them and they're talking foolishness. And that's why so many people are turned off from the Bible. Get back into your book. That's your book. We've been bamboozled, brothers and sisters. But we are now in the time of the awakening. Get out of Babylon. America is modern day Babylon and is set to be destroyed there. All these wars that are culminating. We are to get to Jordan. That's the only safe place. So again, I really wanted to share this information, tell you how and why Whitney Houston died, why they took her out the way they did, why did they have her funeral in the same church where the pastor molested her, and they had a Egyptian thing there. It was a whole sacrificial situation with even with her funeral. They planned it. They waited. They watched her and waited. After she did this, they waited like 9-10 years before they actually took her out. But they planned it and they made sure that, she was taken out. She was beaten so bad. When you hear Leola Brown's testimony about how Whitney was beat up, and they try to act like, oh, it was drug dealers. But she said they found very little drugs even in her system at the time. So I pray y'all receive this message. I hope the quality of this video is good. Please share it and continue to share it. Please let our people know. She did a wonderful message pointing our people to the right direction, coming back to the Holy Land. Jordan is a safe place. We can't be in Israel now. We're not to go into Israel now because it needs to be cleansed before we go into the Holy Land. But we can be in Jordan. Jordan is the safe place. Okay, so I give all honor and glory to AHAYAH. AHAYAH, Ashur AHAYAH. Bahashim Yashaya. I hope I haven't left out anything, that I needed to say. I hope, I said everything.
It was about...
Hold on. I want to move there. Okay. I hope I said everything I needed to say. I just really wanted to give that information because the internet is buzzing right now because of Whitney Houston and because of Ray J, falling apart, probably through guilt. The load is so heavy on him, how he betrayed our sister. So he's talking about committing suicide. There's a lot going on, brothers and sisters. But more importantly, our people need to be woken up. They need to know. And I believe I said enough in this video. Let our people know what these people in this industry, they be trying to tell. Kanye West told he's a Hebrew Israelite. Kendrick Lamar said it. Even, what's his name? The masked singer, the guy, married to Mariah Carey, Nick Cannon, they really came after him when he said it. He, put it out there that we the Hebrews. Him and Professor Griff was talking about it on a video, and they came down on him. They're going to get rid of all these people because Esau likes to take their time. They will wait before they strike. So Kanye West, even that basketball player, Irving or Irving. He said he was a Hebrew Israelite. A lot of them that started awakening, because we are in a time of awakening. AHAYAH has poured out his spirit. The whole earth, certain people are waking up. Certain people are so, laden with sin, they can't even wake up. But some majority of people are feel it's resonating. We are at time of the awakening. We got to come out, brothers and sisters. Jordan is the safe place. This is where we have come to. But when you come here, you better be ready to get under the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You don't want to come here and get destroyed, brothers and sisters. It's a very narrow road, and the Most High is not playing with Israel. Okay, so bless you all. Please share the video. Please comment and give some information. Please move it so our people can understand that sister sacrificed her life so that we can get this information. And I'm so thankful to be a part of it, to be able to give it, help move it along. Let our people know it's time to get out. Destruction is coming. Esau is not playing. They're going to take us down in America. If we don't get out of there, a lot of our people are going to get destroyed. They set up America to be taken down. And if our people don't get out, a lot of people are going to fall. So you got to open your mouth, brothers and sisters. You got to share it. You got to talk about it. You got to tell your family, even if they don't want to hear it or forbear it. At least they know. They can't say they didn't know. They can't say they didn't hear it. They can't say they didn't have no idea. Praise AHAYAH. Bahashim Yashaya Wakudashawak. Shalom, y'all. I pray you receive this information. Blessings. Mwah. And I pray it came out good. If it didn't, I will do this video again. So I will check the sound, because it looks like it's going haywire on my phone. Oof. It's going in and out. I don't know if y'all can see that. See that flashing like that? So we'll see. If it didn't take well, I'll do it again. Praise AHAYAH. I give all honor and glory and praise to AHAYAH Bahashim Yashaya. Qadash Rawach. Shalom. No music, no nothing. They've been, taxing my account because of the music that I've been playing and everything. So I'm going to leave this bare. Shalom.